Commander Zefix's 4 eyes widened in horror as the human transport vessel spiraled toward the crimson surface of Korthak Prime. The deadly world's atmosphere crackled with electromagnetic storms, its twin suns blazing mercilessly above acidic purple clouds. No sentient being had ever survived more than 3 solar cycles on this nightmare planet. "Emergency beacon activated," announced Communications Officer Veltar, her crystalline voice trembling. "One life sign detected in the wreckage." "Impossible," Zefix muttered, adjusting the viewing screen. "Nothing can survive down there. The atmospheric pressure alone would crush most species." Through the swirling toxic mists, they watched a figure emerge from the smoking debris. The human designation, Marcus Chun, according to their databases, stood upright despite the crushing gravity that would have flattened a Valerian in seconds. He surveyed the hellish landscape with what appeared to be calm assessment rather than terror. "By the 7 moons," whispered Science Officer Krindok. "Look at the environmental readings. Surface temperature, 89 degrees Celsius. Atmospheric composition, 67% carbon dioxide, 23% sulfur compounds, traces of methane. Radiation levels that would kill our crew in minutes." Marcus began moving with purpose. He salvaged metal sheets from the wreckage, seemingly unbothered by their scalding temperature. Using a piece of twisted hull as a makeshift shovel, he began digging into the rocky ground, his movements efficient and deliberate. "What is the Deathworlder doing?" Veltar asked, her translator struggling with the concept. "Building," Krindok replied in disbelief, analyzing the humans' actions through their sensors. "He's actually building shelter." The alien crew watched in fascination as Marcus constructed a lean-to structure against a natural rock formation. He used the metal sheeting to create a reflective barrier against the dual sun's radiation, angling it precisely to deflect the worst of the heat. Then he began weaving together some kind of fibrous material he'd extracted from indigenous plants that secreted acid capable of dissolving their ship's hull. "Those toxins should be eating through his skin," Krindok observed, mandibles clicking in confusion. "How is he handling them barehanded?" "Deathworlders," Zefix said grimly. "Their planet nearly killed them for millions of years. They adapted to survive anything." Marcus had now created a basic filtration system using charcoal from burned plant matter and sand from the rocky soil. He was actually purifying the toxic groundwater, making it drinkable. The aliens watched as he took careful sips, testing the water before consuming larger quantities. "This is unprecedented," Veltar breathed. "Our xenobiology texts claim this world is Class 5 uninhabitable. Even our emergency suits would fail within hours." As the first of Korthak Prime's notorious acid rains began falling, Marcus calmly sealed his shelter. He had somehow waterproofed it using a resin extracted from the same deadly plants he'd been harvesting. The corrosive precipitation that could eat through starship armor simply rolled off his makeshift roof. "Sir," Krindok reported, "the human's shelter is maintaining structural integrity. Interior temperature has stabilized at survivable levels. He's created a closed-loop life support system using only materials found on-world." Through their sensors, they could see Marcus inside his shelter, methodically organizing his salvage supplies and planning his next improvements. He appeared to be sketching expansion plans in the dirt floor. "How long until rescue?" Zefix asked. 17 standard days, assuming optimal transit conditions," Veltar replied. "Mark my words," the commander said, watching the human work. "When we return, this Deathworlder won't just be alive. He'll have turned this Hell's Cape into a home." As if to prove the point, Marcus emerged from his shelter with a crude spear he'd fashioned, apparently ready to hunt the local fauna. The crew could only watch in stunned silence as their understanding of survival itself was fundamentally redefined by a single human's refusal to simply die.